And welcome to the NSAA State Baseball Tournament here on Ole Red 99.5. Waverly against Norris in this big game, this big winners game, as both teams won over the weekend in this bracket 1 of Class B. Norris getting a 13-2 win over Lincoln Northwest, and it's Waverly getting a 8-5 win over Beatrice. Beatrice surprisingly out in the first 2 games. They eliminated this morning against Lincoln Northwest, who is on a little bit of a run as probably one of the underdog Cinderella teams that have made this tournament. Lincoln Northwest won that game 3-2, but Waverly, like I said, coming in off of an 8-5 win over Beatrice. It was a big game for Drew Cook and Landon Elke, who had 2 hits against the Orangemen in Waverly's win. They moved to 18-7. And Norris, 22-5. They beat Lincoln Northwest on Saturday, 13-2, convincingly in the first round. These 2 teams will play for the 3rd time this season, as they both had met earlier, with Norris winning both games. Norris winning the first game at home 10-0, and the second game being won at home 3-2, but in 9 innings, an extra inning. So we'll see how it ends up going out. We'll take a quick break and then get back here for the starting lineups after this. All right, welcome back to Ole Red 99.5's presentation of the NSAA State Baseball Tournament. Waverly against Norris. Let's go through the starting pitchers really quickly, as Waverly will have Cale Lade, the sophomore, on the mound this late afternoon. 1.33 ERA, a 4-2 record on the season. And for Norris, they'll have Crew Moeller on the field with a 3.09 ERA. He's undefeated at 4-0 this season. We'll have the national anthem and be back after this for the first pitch of this game between Waverly and Norris on Ole Red. Welcome back to the NSAA State Baseball Tournament here on Ole Red 99.5. This game is brought to you by Complete Insurance, is proud to support Norris Titans, Titan Nutrition in downtown Hickman, and Currency makes financing quick, easy, and secure for heavy machinery, ag equipment, trucks, trailers, and more. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. I'm Kyle Mathas. Thank you for joining me this afternoon here. It's been a kind of a overcast and rainy day here all day, but the rain has held off for now, and there's actually kind of a chance that this game would be postponed, in that all the days would be pushed back, because Thursdays automatically, there are no games on Thursday before the championship games, but there's a chance that if the games were postponed, that they would have to play on Thursday if it was raining all day today. The rain has held off for the most part, and they actually have been able to get every single game in so far here in the NSAA State Baseball Tournament. I'll run through the Class B bracket so far as we're heading into this one. So obviously Norris and Waverly won on Saturday. It was Beatrice falling to Lincoln Northwest earlier this morning. The loser of this game will play Lincoln Northwest tomorrow morning. Winner will play Wednesday morning. In the winners game, they'll be 2-0. This is a double elimination bracket, remember. Elkhorn North and Gretna East at the bottom half of the bracket will play after this. And then it was Blair beating Plattsmouth 6-1. So the loser of that Elkhorn North Gretna East game after this one will play Blair tomorrow in the afternoon. Let's take a look here at the starting pitching for Waverly. Cale Lade is the starter. Like I said, 1.33 ERA, 4-2 record on the season, and he's a good pitcher on the mound, and Waverly is going to need something like that against a great offensive team like Norris. As we take a look at the starting lineup here for the Titans of Norris, leading off is the catcher, Logan Michael. Then batting second is the LSU commit, Cale Fountain, who's playing shortstop. Jordan Monroe is playing in left field, batting third. Crew Moeller is the pitcher and the DH. He's the cleanup hitter. Logan White's the fifth hitter. He's playing at second base. Brody Hoover, the player that was just playing junior varsity last season, has really stepped up his game and has found fire this season, is playing right field, batting in the sixth spot. John Hood, batting seventh, is playing out in center. Batting eighth is Bryce Fountain, the brother of Cale. He's playing at first, and Alex Small is playing at third base, batting ninth. Alex Small, also a basketball player as well for the Titans, who played in the state championship game in Lincoln just a few months ago against Scott Catholic. We were there covering that game. How fitting is it that we're covering him in the baseball tournament just a few months later? All right, so leading off, like I said, for Norris, Logan Michael plays the catcher position, and not sure if you're going to be able to hear the crowd too much, but the crowd and the dugouts both getting pretty loud to start this one, as a pitch down low is ball one from Cale Lade. Logan Michael committed to Peru State University to play baseball, as has a lot of this team, as that one's fouled off on the next pitch, 1-1. A lot of the players on this Norris team have committed to play college baseball, and Michael is one of them. Peru State bound. Here's the 1-1. Grounded straight to second base. Scooped up easily by Zach Schwang, and then play is made to Bruin Sampson at first, and there's one down. So Waverly, their starting defensive lineup is Cale Lade on the mound. Behind the plate is Drew Cook. At first is Bruin Sampson. Second, Zach Schwang. At short is Landon Elke. At third is Brennan Miller. Over and left is Garrett Ryan. In center is Hunter Tomes. And it's Nolan Motts in right field. Here's this one popped up to right, and speaking of Motts, he makes the catch out in right. It was Cale Fountain on a first pitch swing. Flew out to right field, and there's already two down. Cale Fountain trying to get this game started off right for him, but he went a little too quickly, I feel like, in that at-bat. You want to make some of these pitchers have to extend their arm a little bit, and one pitch at-bats is not the way to do that. Eli Russell, by the way, is the DH for Waverly. Here's the third man in the order, Jordan Monroe, who is batting third, and he's already there with two outs coming up to bat it. It's been a good start on the mound for Lade and defensively for Waverly. He's coming off of a big win over Beatrice. Here's the pitch. Popped up high in the air. This one looks like it's in shallow center. And on the run, making the catch is Hunter Tomes, and there's 3 up, 3 down for Norris to begin this game against Waverly. Cale Lade does his job, and we'll have Waverly coming up to bat up next on Ole Red. Welcome back to the NSAA State Baseball Tournament here on Ole Red 99.5. This game is brought to you by Crete Area Medical Center, Wilbur and Friend Medical Clinics, Smith Auto in Pawnee City. Learn more at smithauto.ne.com, and Friend Fertilizer, your Ranky dealer and friend. 3 up, 3 down for Norris in the top of the first. Norris, by the way, being the higher seed, they're still playing as though they are the virtual road team today, and Waverly will be batting at the bottom of the order. This is a look at their starting lineup. Hunter Tomes leads off for Waverly in the top of the order. He's playing center field, made that catch to end the inning. Landon Elke is batting second. He's playing at short. Drew Cook is batting third, playing behind the plate. Bruin Sampson is the cleanup hitter, playing at first base. Eli Russell's the DH. He's batting fifth. In sixth is Nolan Motts, who's playing out in right field, made a catch back in the top of the first as well. Zach Schwang, is playing second base and is batting seventh. Batting eighth is Brennan Miller, who's playing at third. Batting ninth is Garrett Ryan, who's playing over and left. Cale Lade is the pitcher, and he is not in the batting order for Waverly. Before we get into Norris's defensive lineup, this is Hunter Tomes, who comes up to bat for Waverly. The Vikings coming in at 18-7 after a big 3-run win over Beatrice. First pitch down low from Crew Moeller. Crew Moeller is batting .310 on the season with 26 hits, but where he thrives is on the mound. 4-0 this season, 3.09 ERA, and throws a strike after throwing a pitch down low, so it's 1-1. As Moeller gets ready to throw the next. That one's fouled off and will make it a ball and 2 strikes for Tomes, who was batting .385 on the team, one of the best on the team. And 30 hits, 14 RBIs. It's a pretty good stat line for the leadoff man for Waverly. And here's the pitch. That one's up high. It's 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. You got Landon Elke on deck, followed by Drew Cook. That pitch is down in the dirt from Moeller, and it's 3-2, full count here to the first batter for the Vikings. Waverly lost to Lincoln Northwest in the district finals, and that pitch is outside on a full count pitch. It's a walk on the first batter for Waverly. Tomes is on first. Landon Elke comes up to bat for Waverly up next. Take a look at Norris's starting defensive lineup really quickly. Crew Moeller's on the mound. Logan Michael is behind the plate. Bryce Fountain's at first. Logan White is at second. Cale Fountain is on short. Alex Small is playing third. Jordan Monroe is in left. John Hood is in center, and Brody Hoover is playing out in right. Crew Muller is also technically the DH as well. Here's Elke. Tried to bunt. That pitch is high. Throw to first. They were trying to catch Tomes by surprise. He slid back in there safely. But Michael tried to catch him off guard with a quick throw. That pitch was high to Elke, who's showing bunt. He's trying to advance the runner into scoring position immediately. See if he shows bunt again. Wouldn't be surprised. But it's a ball and no strikes. They're going to check on the runner at first. Oh, if that throw from Moeller wasn't high, that would have been an out. Tomes was not expecting the throw back, but the throw was high, and Bryce Fountain had to reach up and extend for it. He couldn't apply the tag in time, but if that throw was right on the money, that's an out for Norris on the runner at first. Still a ball and no strikes with no outs. Tomes goes back to where he was before, leads off at first. They check on him, throw, got him! There it is! Threw it too high the first time, checks on him again. This time throws it perfectly into the glove of Bryce Fountain. They tag out Tomes, who was leading off at first, and they get the first out of the inning. So there is no runners on base now for the Waverly Vikings. Great play by Crew Moeller, who just said, if you want to lead off again, then I'll test you again. Let's see if you can get back in time when I throw it at the perfect angle. That one's down in the dirt, though, to Elke, who's was originally coming up to sacrifice bunt and advance the runner to second, but now he has to actually try and get on base here and take a swing against Muller. He's already 2-0 up in the count with one out. That pitch inside, 3-0 hitters count for Elke. Typically, though, hitters don't swing at 3-0. They usually wait till 3-1, but we'll see if Elke will take the risk here. Here's the 3-0. Down in the dirt, a 4-pitch walk. Second walk of the game for Crew Moeller. But luckily for his sake, he was able to pick off the first base runner. Now he's got a second one on first. Here comes Drew Cook up to bat. And for Elke, he's pretty good at drawing walks. Draws another one this season. That brings up, like I said, Drew Cook, who this season 24 hits, 11 RBIs, and a homer. But it's Brendan Miller who leads the team with 3 home runs this season. Muller checks on first, doesn't throw yet. He's going to take the pitch instead and throws a strike right down the middle. It's 0-1. Well, Crew Moeller was an All-State honorable mention last season. And he's trying to do something similar this year as well. Here's the 0-1 down in the dirt. Good block there from Logan Michael. Made sure it didn't get behind him, and it's 1-1. So if you're just joining us, Waverly, despite being the higher seed, is batting as though they were the home team in the bottom of the first. Norris went 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Here's the pitch. Grounded straight back to Muller. Goes to second. Tag is applied. Throw to first. Got him in time. It's a double play for Norris. Muller went to Cale Fountain at second. Fountain delivered it to his brother Bryce at first. And Norris is able to make a double play happen to end the first inning. No score through one. We'll be back for Norris coming up to bat in the top of the second with Crew Moeller when we return on Ole Red. Right, welcome back to the NSAA State Baseball Tournament on Ole Red. It was a double play by Norris. A 1-6-3 double play to end the bottom of the first after 2 walks thrown by Crew Moeller. Now he comes up to bat to lead off the top of the second inning. He's the pitcher, but also the DH. He pops up on the first pitch out down the right field foul line. It's a race for it, and what a play. Nolan Motts comes in from right field and makes the catch in the right foul territory. He had to run very far to get to that one, but he makes the catch for the first out, and Norris, Cale Fountain back in the first inning swung on the first pitch. Muller swings on the first pitch this time. Monroe swung on the second pitch. They're not making these at-bats very lengthy for Cale Lade so far. Logan Michael kind of extended late a little bit back in the first inning, but now it's Logan White coming up to the plate. Breaking ball down low, 1-0. Logan White plays varsity football as well. Committed to UN Kearney to play football. But he's playing here in the state tournament this time for baseball as he takes a strike down the middle. It's 1-1. Like I said before, a lot of these players committed to play college athletics, but not every one of them baseball. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. Great off-speed pitch by Lade. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes with 1 down in the top of the second. The loser of this game would play tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. against Lincoln Northwest. Winner plays Wednesday at 10 a.m. This one's grounded. Straight over to third. Scooped up by Brennan Miller. Throw to first is low. It hops up, but a great play by Bruin Sampson to get it in his glove, and that is 2 down already. Great play by Brennan Miller over at third. Just had to wait for it to hop right into his glove, and the throw was low, but it was still able to be made by Bruin Sampson at first. Here's Brody Hoover. Talked to him last week, and I was able to attend their practice, and he's very excited to be here. He said there's nothing like the state baseball atmosphere as he fouls down the left field line, and it's 0-1. Hoover has been one of those guys on the team that has stepped up for Coach Sean Bartholomew, but he didn't quite expect him to. Here's the 0-1. Pitch, breaking ball down low, 1-1. He was a JV guy last season, Brody Hoover. Played his first varsity action this year, and he said once he got his first hit earlier on in the season, he felt like he had nothing to lose. That ball's down in the dirt. It's 3-1. And he said playing with nothing to lose is the best way to play because it almost makes you have no pressure and feel no pressure. And that's how he's played this season. He's one of the best batters on the team. The 3-1. Grounded straight past the glove of Glade. Picked up by the shortstop, Elke. Throw to first. Got him. Another 1-2-3 inning for Waverly. Cale Lade playing excellent on the mound so far for the Vikings. Vikings will come up to bat with Bruin Sampson in the bottom of the second. No score between Norris and Waverly on All Red. The state baseball game on All Red is brought to you by John Austin, your shelter insurance agents in Fairbury, Peer Review Industries, North Highway 15 in Fairbury, Tim Hartley with Hebron Tree Service, and Thayer County Health Services in Hebron, Brooding, Davenport, and Deschler. Leading off is Bruin Sampson, the first baseman for Waverly. In the bottom of the second inning, takes the ball down low. It's 1-0. Crew Moeller threw 2 walks in the first inning, but was able to get out of it with a double play. There have been no strikeouts yet in this game for both teams. That pitch is just a tad inside. It's 2-0. Like I said, though, it'll be Sampson, first baseman, Russell, the DH, and then the right fielder, Motts, who will play in this inning. This one's grounded to Cale Fountain. Throws it over to first. Easy play for Fountain. The LSU commit makes the play. And there's 1 down. It was just a ground ball straight to him. Interviewed Cale Fountain, and he was talking about how he didn't want to get too ahead of himself. He's excited to go down to Baton Rouge in the fall, play at LSU, but he doesn't want to get too ahead of himself. He loves this community. He loves his team. He doesn't just want to be thinking about college ball. He wants to win the state title before that. This could be some of these games could be his final game. If they were to lose one, any game after that could be his final game. Pitch down low. It's 3-0, The pitch swung on and missed. So Moeller attacks. Now it's still a hitter's count, though. 3 balls, 1 strike. 1 down for Eli Russell, the Vikings DH this afternoon, and he takes one. Okay, I guess that was the third ball right there. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch swung on and missed. You know what? That was actually the second strike. I think I'm getting a little bit confused. I actually can't see the scoreboard from here. So going off of counting and being a journalism person, it's not typically what I'm used to. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball straight to third. Alex Small's got it. Rifles one over to first, and the catch is made by Bryce Fountain for the out. So that was the full count pitch. Ground ball straight to third, and the play is made by Alex Small. And Alex Small did play basketball for the Norris team, like I said, 5.4 points per game in the run to the state title game. 6 points in the championship game against Scott. So here it is Nolan Motts, the right fielder, coming up to bat now. Something funny that happened at the end of the top of the second was that Brody Hoover, the right fielder, grounded out to first and started walking out to right field with his helmet instead of his hat. He had to sprint all the way across the diamond to get his hat and then sprint all the way back out to right to get back out to his position before the inning started, as a pitch down in the dirt is 1-0. Sometimes state baseball will make you forget everything in order to do perfect at the game. That one's fouled down the first baseline, 1-1. But Nolan Motts playing defensively out in right field. And he's batting .298, 17 hits and 57 at-bats. Scored 11 runs so far this season. Here's the 1-2. Just a tad low. It's 2-2. That was just a bit low there from Moeller, who's really played well since throwing 2 walks back in the first. Didn't know how big the stage could be for some of these guys, but Moeller's definitely found his rhythm now, as that one's fouled off, and it's still 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Zach Schwang is on deck, second baseman, but Moeller will be hoping to get out of this inning unscathed and keep it a 0-0 scoreline. The 2-2. That one's grounded straight to Cale Fountain. Takes a hop. Fountain had trouble with it, and it's going to be a base hit for Nolan Motts. That might be an error for Fountain. It was a tough play. It hopped up initially and hopped right before he got his glove to it, making it a tough play. Cale Fountain couldn't make the play. I think that's going to go down as an error on Fountain in E6, which would bring Motts to the to first base with Zach Schwang coming up to bat. Well, now Moeller's going to have to worry about a guy like Motts on first. Swing and a miss on the first pitch, 0-1. I think that was a foul tip into the glove there of Logan Michael, the catcher. Schwang batting .360, one of the best on the team. You got a couple guys above that at .380. But he's been playing pretty well this season. Hasn't had as many at-bats as some of the other guys, though. This one's grounded to third and foul. So it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes on deck for Waverly. Brennan Miller, the third baseman, who leads the team in home runs. 0-2. Beautiful pitch. Caught Schwang looking, and the first strikeout of the game by either pitcher comes to end the bottom of the second. So Waverly did get one on base courtesy of an error from Cale Fountain, but it was a big play from Moeller, who gets his first strikeout of the game. No score through 2. We head to the top of the third up next on All Red.